The revelation that Cha Eun-woo boarded an early morning flight to America immediately after hearing Jin's news about Jungkook has sparked a wave of confusion, debate, and speculation across the K-pop community. But did Jin's message truly push Cha Eun-woo to leave so abruptly, or are we witnessing yet another media-amplified narrative shaped more by emotion than by verified facts? This question, simple yet explosive, sits at the core of the controversy. According to circulating reports on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and several fan-driven media accounts, Cha Eun-woo reacted with alarming urgency after hearing Jin's update regarding Jungkook's condition. Some claim the news was serious enough to warrant immediate travel. Others insist the gesture was purely one of solidarity, not panic. But before accepting these claims at face value, we must ask, what do we actually know, and what are we merely assuming because the story sounds striking? Initial accounts describe Jin privately sharing information about Jungkook's unexpected health concerns, reportedly prompting Cha Eun-woo to cancel scheduled commitments. Yet none of the platforms spreading this narrative have produced official statements, confirmed eyewitnesses, or verifiable documents. If the situation was truly this urgent, why is the available information so fragmented and inconsistent? And why are the details emerging primarily through short-form content notorious for prioritizing virality over accuracy? Fans, emotionally invested and deeply protective of their idols, quickly filled in the gaps. Many interpreted Cha Eun-woo's flight as a sign of intense worry, even fear. Others saw it as a symbolic gesture of loyalty, an idol crossing borders to offer support to both Jungkook and Jin. But without clarity, how can we distinguish emotional interpretation from factual reporting? Is it possible that our desire for a touching narrative is shaping the way we process incomplete information? The situation grows even more complex when considering timing. Cha Eun-woo's flight reportedly happened shortly after Jin's message circulated within private circles. But is the timing coincidental? Was the trip already planned for unrelated professional reasons? Could overlapping schedules be masquerading as dramatic reaction? These questions matter because they highlight how easily information can be molded into a compelling storyline, especially when idols with strong public connections are involved. Jin's role in the narrative adds another layer of intrigue. Some sources portray him as the bearer of alarming news. Others insist his message was more cautionary than urgent. Yet without official comments, every version remains speculative. This ambiguity fuels the central question. Did Jin actually convey something serious enough to influence Cha Eun-woo's international travel? Or are media outlets and fan communities amplifying a simple coincidence into a dramatic chain reaction? The public's willingness to believe the most emotional interpretation raises deeper concerns about digital culture. Are we conditioned to expect drama from celebrity interactions? Does the idea of Cha Eun-woo rushing to America create a narrative so satisfying that we accept it without scrutiny? And if so, what does that reveal about the relationship between fans, fandom-driven news, and the entertainment ecosystem that thrives on attention? As the story spreads further, it becomes increasingly important to acknowledge how little is confirmed. The original claims came from user-generated content, videos, posts, edits, and speculative commentary. While these sources reflect real fan emotion, they do not guarantee factual accuracy. The question, therefore, is not only whether the event happened, but whether we are critically evaluating the information we consume. Fans deserve transparency, and idols deserve privacy. Yet between these two principles lies the modern challenge, distinguishing fact from emotional storytelling. If Cha Eun-woo's trip was indeed prompted by Jin's news about Jungkook, then it stands as a powerful example of genuine friendship crossing professional boundaries. But if the narrative has been magnified by sensationalism, it becomes a reminder of how easily digital culture can distort reality for the sake of engagement. Now the question turns to you. Do you believe Cha Eun-woo truly flew to America because of Jin's message about Jungkook? Or do you think the story has been shaped by speculation and media sensationalism? Are we observing a real behind-the-scenes moment of support, or participating in a digital echo chamber where dramatic narratives overshadow verified facts? In a world where information spreads in seconds and facts often play catch-up, your skepticism matters. Your critical thinking matters. And your willingness to question emotionally appealing stories is essential. Before accepting any claim, especially one as dramatic as this, consider the source. Consider the lack of official confirmation. Consider whether the narrative benefits someone, fans, creators, platforms, more than it informs. We encourage you to reflect. Is this a genuine act of friendship or a storyline shaped by algorithms and anticipation? Share your perspective, challenge assumptions, and help keep the discussion grounded in thoughtful analysis rather than unverified hype. Your voice is part of the truth-seeking process. What do you believe? The unfolding narrative surrounding Cha Eun-woo's alleged sudden departure to America after hearing Jin's reported news about Jungkook continues to ignite debate across online communities. Yet, as this story spreads rapidly through TikTok edits, Twitter threads, YouTube commentary channels, and reposted snippets across various social platforms, a deeper and far more unsettling question arises. Do we truly understand the credibility of what we are consuming? And more importantly, why are so many people willing to believe it immediately? In this moment of heightened emotion, fans around the world are reacting with a mixture of shock, sympathy, and speculation. But pause for a moment. Are these reactions driven by factual information, or are they shaped by the emotional storytelling that circulates online? If a single headline is capable of generating such massive waves of discussion, shouldn't we ask ourselves what mechanisms allow such stories to spread uncontrollably? Every paragraph of this ongoing discourse forces us to confront one reality. Emotional narratives often overshadow evidence. When a story involves well-known figures like Jin, Jungkook, and Cha Eun-woo, artists who carry a global fan base and enormous emotional resonance, any dramatic twist becomes instantly believable. But is believability the same as truth? Or is it a psychological trap created by our own expectations? Consider how quickly this rumor circulated. Within hours, social media platforms were flooded with analysis, emotional reactions, and compilations framing the event as though it were unquestionably real. Yet, how many of those posts relied on verified statements from official agencies? How many included concrete timelines or verifiable sources? And how many relied purely on repetition, assuming that virality equals legitimacy? These are the questions that must be asked if we truly want to understand the power and danger of digital storytelling. Another aspect worth examining is the emotional construction embedded within these narratives. Notice how the story highlights urgency, loyalty, sacrifice, and fear, all elements that trigger intense engagement. When we encounter such highly charged stories, do we process them rationally, or do we subconsciously accept them because they match the dramatic arcs we expect from celebrity culture? Is this journalism, or is it entertainment disguised as news? More provocatively, we must confront the possibility that such narratives might be strategically crafted, not necessarily by the individuals involved, but by the ecosystem that profits from virality. If content creators, media aggregators, or algorithm-driven platforms benefit from sensational stories, why wouldn't more and more stories adopt this emotional formula? And if that is the case, how can audiences protect themselves from becoming passive receivers of potentially distorted information?